Hello, here we are. We're back with our third signature, but it will be the second one for page 1. And I've got it laid out a little bit. This front piece out of the 22 pack, the big pack, I used the sheet that has all of the potions on it. Now, you do not have to do what I did. It's entirely up to you, but I did cut around all the potions, and then I backed it on some black cardstock, and I've put some tacky strips on it, and I'm going to put it right back in place so that there's a little bit of depth to this first page. And then I cut from the sayings, the quotes page, this little thing that says Elixir of Life, and I'm just going to pop it right here in the middle. So there's a little bit of depth going on there. And again, I did use a die for the ends. And then when we get inside, I'm going to put this over here. This is the second half of the page that I just showed you on the front. So I'm using it over here. And I have cut out from the fussy cut page the cards, backed it on black cardstock. I put some tape down here. It's going to go here, and then the crow out of the ephemera is going to sit right here. And that's going to be this page. Then when you turn it over, what we have on the inside is a page that is actually one of the back pages that has, and I do believe it came out of the borders and backgrounds. I think that's where it came out of. And then the bigger half, I'm kind of hiding things over here from you. Nope, let me stop. Right here, I'm using this ephemera, and I'm going to glue right along this edge, and I'm going to sit her right here, and she's going to be a tuck, and there's going to be plenty of room up there for a photo. The base page, I've got a pocket. I've cut out, again, one of the cut aparts, put it on black cardstock, and that's going to go here. And then this side. And I have a little bit of work to do on this side. This is the other half of this paper is going to go right here. Get this all back in order. I tear things apart, and then I can't find what I did with it all. All right, so now this piece. You have, I hope, cut out all these tickets, cards, whatever you want to call them. And there's a nice stack of them. What I am doing is I have created a little pocket that these are going to go into, and then from scraps I've cut some pieces to embellish the pocket. And it's going to sit down here. And then out of the chipboard, I'm using a couple of the candles that will flank this. These cards will actually fit in here once we get this done. And then up here from the ephemera, I'm putting in this little banner that says Transform Your Life. And then down here, I am putting on a little brass moon to kind of finish that off. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the measurements so that we can get to this piece. So your base page, I took this out of the core, and it is going to measure about 8 3/8 by 8 1/4. So that's your base page. The long pocket, which will go over here because you have quite a bit of bulk on the left side, so this is going to go on the right side. This pocket, not including the die cut embellishment, measures at 2 inches. So then by the time I got done adding another 1/4 inch, now my die is bigger than that, but that's all I wanted to show. I took this out of the scraps. It is actually the back side to this. And that's going to go there. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting things together. I apologize. I try to pre-tape these so that I'm not taking up extra video time, but I totally forgot to do that. Okay, give these a good burnish. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these added on. Oh, extra tape overhang right there. Okay. Match this up with the corner and run it up. And then I'm going to glue this piece on. Come on. And then we'll glue this on. And like I said, this came out of the cut-aparts. And what's interesting that I noticed is it has the number 0. And then the first one here is number 1. So I thought that would be a good way to tie everything together. And there is a numerical sequence to all those cards. Okay, I'm going to eyeball it here. It's not going to be totally centered. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Now, this piece measures at 6 inches, and then you're going to score it at 1/2, and you're going to score it at 3/4. We need a big gusset because what we're building over here with this little pocket, it's a 1/4 inch in height, so I need a large gusset in order to absorb it. And yes, our height is 8 1/4. So let's go ahead and get this in here. Beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and get this one on, and you will need a couple of magnets. Whoa, just took that right along with me. All right, I am going to go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and cover the insides. I placed my magnet, and I'm just going to fold this over. I'm going to make sure that my edges are even, my gussets are even, and then I'll put that down. Now, this side I can glue on, the other side I'm going to tape. So let me go ahead and do that. We are having another very warm day today. I think I'm going to go back leave my she shed, go back to the house, and enjoy some air conditioning here in a little bit. And let's go ahead and add, whoops, I must have glue or tape on my fingertips because everything's sticking. Okay, you can see I've been inking. I like to get into the little crooks and crannies. And we're just going to sit her right down here. All right, so she's done. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this. Go ahead and put this in place. Don't twist on me. Yeah. I put my hand down too fast and too hard and it's twisting on me, so I'm fighting against the tape, trying to get it back in place. So I'm just going to give up, take it off. Lay it back down. Now I will okay, and then I want to go ahead and tape this side, working our way to the front and then our insides. You can tell this came out of the 22, the big single-sided pack. Just lay this in here. Whoops. Too far forward. I don't want it that far forward. There we go. Okay, I just noticed something, so I'm going to stop here just a second. My gusset is wanting to lay backward, so I need to make sure that magnet is set where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's okay. I was going to stop and fix it before I finished securing the tape. So what was happening, what I could see was my gusset, instead of standing up tall like this, was actually leaning back at a slant. So I want to make sure that it's up, and if it was, that means I had to reset my magnet, but it's just fine. Okay, so as I had indicated, I had cut these out of the cut-aparts. And I'm going to place it right down here. And then the crow out of the ephemera. And we're just going to set him right there on top of the cards. Get that glue out of the way. Okay. Let's play with the front. I want to get it set because we're going to have some bulk behind it. And I want to make sure that it's where it's supposed to be before we put in that little pocket. Oh, uh-oh. Landed on my lap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all the way around these edges because I want them secured, and then I'll finish gluing the perimeter. This is so flimsy, so like I said, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But I am a dimensional person. I like to see some of the elements lifted up so it creates additional character to my albums. But it does require patience in the fussy cutting parts. So if it's something you're not into, you don't have to do this. You can simply just play with the paper the way that it is. Okay, so I am going to very carefully lay this across the top, measuring left to right, and then I'm going to bring this down the way it's supposed to be, push it down, pull this in the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Now we'll go. Now I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to burnish from here because we got a lot of cut edges and I don't want to tear into them. So I'm going to burnish from this underside. And then that way now everything is down up against the paper. And then this is going to come right down here. We're going to line it up with the bottom down here. And we're going to put it right back into place. And then we're going to put this right there in the middle. So I am going to go ahead and start tearing these off, and I will probably be off camera for some of this, but I want to get it in my garbage can, so I'm not tossing them all over the floor. Just 2 more to go. All right. Right down here next to the bottom, and I can see the black cardstock behind it, so I know that I can place it in correctly. And it gives some texture and some height to the page, and then we're going to put a Lexer cut out from the sayings page is going to go right there. All right, now let's open her up. And I think we've got everything else done. We're now going to work on this side. Okay, this little pocket, and I've got mine taped together, measures 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. You're going to score each at 1/2 and at 1/4, 1/2 and 1/4. You're going to score, fold and score, and then you're going to cut your corners off very carefully at a diagonal, and then we're going to tape it. Now I cut these corners off so that when you're looking at it, you're not looking back and seeing them, so you can do that as well if you wish. Once you get that put together, then we're going to go to your scraps, find a piece of paper that you like, and we're going to go ahead and cover it. Now, I cut some pieces here. Now, this is a 1/4 inch, but I don't want to cover it entirely. I want some of the black to show. So I am cutting it just short of it being a 1/4 inch. It's one of those funny little ticks just before it. And then I'm going to come in here and tape it on, or glue it on. We're going to do the same thing here. And then I'm going to, goodness sakes, I'm just all over the place. And then I'm just going to take a little tiny piece to cover the bottom. I'm going to glue this onto the front. And again, like I said, this came out of my scraps. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my tape off. And make sure all my sides are in there. And I'm going to come up about a 1/4 inch off the bottom. I hope I've got good spacing here. And then here are my candles. These are the, well, it's a little bit that way, isn't it? Can I get this up without ruining everything? I'd like to have it, well, shoot. Hold on here just a second. I got to do some proper surgery here, because I don't want my paper to tear. I want to move this over just a little bit. I didn't want to totally measure this, but I think I'm going to, because this is a big enough piece. I'd like to have it centered. So I'm at 6 5/8, so 3, and I'm going to be right about here. So I'm about 2 1/4. Now it's going to come this way. Huh? I'm making a big fuss out of this, aren't I? Okay, I think I'll be happy with that right there. I'm going to reach in here. I need to burnish this. Where's my... So that's nice and tight. All right, so now we're going to put... I'm putting... What are you doing? I'm putting the larger candle to the outside so there's the weight of it. And you wouldn't think it would matter, but it does. I want the weight of it out here. And then the little chipboard candle to the inside. And then we're going to take this out of the ephemera, Transform Your Life. We're just going to put it up here close to the top, centered as best as possible, so you can leave yourself room for a photo. These go right in here. And then I'm going to use some glossy accents and put this little moon down, right down here. Well, I don't know if this is going to work, to be honest with you, because I have got the tiniest of edges. And even if I use hot glue, it's going to poke out through the holes. So I'll have to see if this is going to work. Make sure I got my edges covered here. And I just want to put this right down here. Oh. It is setting up pretty quickly. I'm not moving it, I'm not touching it. Okay, so now let's take a look here. Perfect. So the magnet is catching. And we've got this here, we have this here, we've got this here, so our signature is built. And then we're going to add some tape. I'm going to use 1/2 inch across the back to frame it. Do this one first. Now I have some bulk right here because of the little pocket that we made. So I'm going to run a pretty wide strip of tape up that to help support the weight of it, and then just a thinner strip of tape on the other side. All right, let's get our book. And I'm going to turn it, whoops, I got to turn it around. I got to turn it this way so I can see 3 of the 4 sides when I'm mounting it. And I'm going to, again, bring the end of this right to the end of this page. And my gusset keeps wanting to collapse. So I will have to pay particular attention when I pull the tape off of the edges. Okay, top to bottom, it all looks pretty good so far. Let's open this up. Now, as photos and things get put in here, this page in its height will catch up to this one. So let's go ahead and start pulling some tape off of here. And then we'll pay particular attention if your gusset wants to fold on you, make sure that it's standing up straight when you commit your tape. And that's the first opportunity for this gusset, so I make sure that it's standing straight when I put that edge down. Okay, down it goes. And then we got to sneak in here and pull this last strip of tape out. Okay, let's open it up and we're going to burnish. All right. I actually had a little bit of success with this. I'm pleased. Okay, we're done. I'll see you when we come back to do this one. You have a good day.